It's actually crazy to me how much Shiba Inu is repeating what it did in 2024. This is going to blow your mind how identical this is on a chart level, on a fundamental level. And what I want to talk about is, does this mean that Shiba Inu has a 170% move to the upside coming in the not so distant future? And what I do want to talk about as well is something, there are two things that can carry Shiba Inu to even higher highs than what we saw late last year. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So I have to say right now, it's been kind of a boring weekend in terms of price. Shiba Inu not really doing a whole lot. Not a crazy amount of volatility in the market. Again, it's just really low volume throughout the space. In fact, we're looking across the crypto market, $41 billion in daily trading volume. Shiba Inu itself, $111 million. That's a really, really quiet day. Now, what I will say is very good is that we're still seeing a lot of those same things on a fundamental level. Holders on the rise, whales accumulating. They bought 206 billion SHIB yesterday. So these are all very consistent signs. And what's interesting about this is these are a lot of those same signs that we were seeing back here in the latter part of 2024, as Shiba Inu had bottomed and was starting to confirm its next leg up. Now, is SHIB doing exactly what it did last year? Well, it very well could be. And in fact, what I want to show you guys is just how similar this in fact is. When we look at this structure in terms of Shiba Inu, guys, it's almost identical. That is the wildest thing ever. And what this could mean is that we just had, Shiba Inu confirm its bottom, right? And I didn't draw those in the right spots, right? Shiba Inu confirmed its bottom back here on March 11th. And now we are starting to set those higher lows again. And SHIB is trying to set this upward trajectory. Now, when we look at last year, we actually saw Shiba Inu go on a 170% move to the upside. All right. This is what that looked like. It brought Shiba Inu all the way up to 4033. And what's strange about this is when we look at global search optics, Shiba Inu is exactly at those September of 2024 levels. So we've kind of done that pump and that return to normalcy, right? And Shiba Inu, I mean, even if you extend this structure out even further here, just to kind of show you guys this, there we go. You guys can see that, almost from a time standpoint, it's very similar here as well. Now, this drop has been more abrupt and more aggressive. And the reason why that is we've had more negative events, right? There were more black swan events, more fear surrounding retail, more uncertainty. We take a look at the fear greed index, guys. Remember, comparing those two timelines, we only got down to about just barely into fear in September of 2024. Right now, we reached actually extreme fear, and we're now in the lower part of fear. So the sentiment is actually a little worse than it was last summer, which makes sense. That's why prices are slightly lower. But we're seeing very similar things for a bounce to take place. Okay. So again, when we look at the overall market cap of crypto, we're doing that retest at the bottom of our trend. I talked about actually this earlier today in my ADA video, BTC dominance showing bearish divergence. Again, this should be where we get a rejection on BTC dominance and all coins start to pick up some steam. Okay. Now, the strange thing about this too is, we eventually had this drop off in November in terms of BTC dominance, and that was huge for altcoins. That's when SHIB started to make some pretty significant moves here as well. Now, one thing I do want to talk about here is when we talk about this 170% move here, Shiba Inu can easily do this again. But what we really need that was not present here, that was present in the early part of 2024, is two things. And this is what can lead Shiba Inu to the massive breakouts, breaking through its long-term trend, moving towards new all-time highs. And what these two things are is, one, a meme season. Sorry, I muted my mic. Excitement from retail in this space. So we need a meme season. We need all these memes to start rallying. But secondly, we need adoption. And adoption was not taking place in the latter part of 2024. There was a little bit, but it was mostly surrounding US-based crypto. But that was very heavily present in February into March of 2024. Now, retail has been patiently waiting. Optics obviously have dropped as of late, but they're still not at low lows. Again, they're at kind of at these levels that they were, actually not kind of, they are at these levels that they were back in the latter part of 2024. I searched this right before I searched Shiba Inu, and you guys can see very similar trend, right? Falling right into those September levels. So we're kind of at a spot that is very conducive for a big market rebound, a big Shiba Inu rebound. And again, I would not be surprised by Shiba Inu doing a 10x from here in still the early part of this year. Now, this isn't to guarantee your financial vice, but remember, we still need those things to be present. You still need optics to rise. You need a meme season. You need adoption to be taking place. And meme coins haven't died per se. The best thing I'll say is they've just gone dormant. They've gone quiet, as basically everything else has in crypto. Volume is a big indicator of this. Search optics is a big indicator of this. We're not reaching like insane lows in terms of volume or search optics. They're just kind of blah. And that's because people have, big concerns right now surrounding the macro, surrounding, economic data, surrounding tariffs, how much money am I going to have? Am I going to be able to pay my bills? That is eventually going to shift. That stuff that's really loud right now is going to quiet down. And that is when the crypto market starts doing its best. So that's the biggest things we have going on right now. It's very interesting to see Shiba Inu doing this once again. So do you think the Shiba Inu bottom is in? Are we about to start this we'll call it a mega rally, right? But have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.